Okay, we are about to go on the record. Is everybody in that we need in? All right, good evening. This is a proceeding before the Michigan Public Service Commission on the application of Indiana Michigan Power Company for approval of an integrated resource plan under MCL 460.6T and for other relief. The case number is U-21189. My name is Dennis Mack. I'm an administrative law judge with the Michigan Office of Administrative Hearings and Rules, and I'll be assisting the commission as it takes public comment on the application under the notice of public hearing issued on March 7, 2022. We have a court reporter who will prepare a transcript of this public hearing that will be posted on the commission's e-docket under the case number. In addition, this public hearing will be recorded and available for future reference on the Commission's website. This public hearing is being held virtually, utilizing video and teleconferencing, so we ask that everyone please be sure to mute your phone lines. Before we open the public comment portion of this proceeding, we will hear from the commissioners. So I will turn it over to the chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission, Chair Scripps.
Thank you, Judge Mack. Good afternoon or evening, I guess, now, and I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. My name is Dan Scripps, and I'm chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission. It is good to be with you this evening for this virtual public hearing at the last Indiana Michigan Power Company Integrated Resource Hearing or Integrated Resource Plan public hearing. We were actually able to be in person pre-COVID and look forward to getting back to Southwest Michigan again soon. Also with us today are Commissioners Tremaine Phillips and Catherine Paratic. Each of the commissioners is appointed by the governor with advice and consent from the Michigan Senate. We serve staggered 6-year terms and all serve all of Michigan. By background, the Public Service Commission was created by statute more than 100 years ago and has been in its current form since 1939. We were originally formed to regulate railroads in the state, and our responsibilities have changed over time based on industry changes and legislation, including legislation that has both added and taken away responsibilities from the commission. We are a creature of statute and take our adherence to Michigan law very seriously. We regulate electricity and natural gas and also have jurisdiction over telecommunications, and our Public Service Commission staff is made up of about 180 technical staff with backgrounds in engineering, accounting, customer assistance, law, and other fields. And speaking of customer assistance, we have a couple of staff members from our customer assistance division, Drew Simon and Lucy Clay, with us this evening. They're listening in case there are folks who raise concerns, need assistance, or have complaints or otherwise. You can also find additional information on assistance at our website, or by calling 211 or going to mi211.org. And if you've got concerns over your service, your electricity, natural gas, or telecommunication service, you can reach our Customer Assistance Division toll-free at 800-292-9555. I'll speak about the intent of today's meeting in a moment, but a couple of other quick acknowledgements first. In addition to Drew and Lucy, we have a number of others from the commission staff who are joining us today. And I want to just take a moment and thank Amy Rittenhouse, Rika Holly-Velker, Kathy Cole, Andy Hannum, Kyle Damon, and Ben Johnson, who are all online, helping with the IT stuff, helping with the logistics and the pulling this meeting together and other pieces of tonight. I also want to thank our court reporter, Pat Lutza, and Judge Mack for his ever-efficient and professional handling of these and other proceedings at the commission. And because this is an Indiana, Michigan Integrated Resource Plan hearing, I just want to take a moment and acknowledge the 36 years of dedicated service of U.S. Congressman Fred Upton, who, as I'm sure many know, announced his retirement from the House yesterday, or will at the end of this, his 18th consecutive term. He's led with grace and thoughtfulness, and I have particularly enjoyed our interactions over energy policy, where he's long been an established national leader on issues to great effect in Southwest Michigan and indeed for all of our state. The intent of today's meeting is to inform the public about the Commission's role in reviewing the application and administrative hearing process and to provide the public an opportunity to comment. We're taking input today on Indiana Michigan Power, or I&M's Integrated Resource Plan, or IRP, which outlines the utility's plans for delivering electricity to its residential and business customers in Michigan. And we'll be showing in a few minutes a presentation that will have more information on the Commission's role, what I&M has included in its applications, and additional details on how to participate. We also have a formal proceeding underway at the Commission that involves expert witnesses that testify on issues in the case, where we are able to conduct a review and the assessment of record evidence, including staff witnesses. This is an extensive process, and at the end of it, the Commission will issue a decision in this case by the end of the year. Under Michigan law, we need to issue an initial decision that either approves, denies, or recommends one or more changes within 300 days of the application, which means that the order needs to be issued not later than December 27th, 2022, and that then triggers an additional process that will be covered. Again, I encourage you to reach out to our staff if you need additional information. You can also continue to submit public comment throughout the duration of the case through the end of the year through the Commission e-docket process, and you'll find that again on our website as well. And with that, I want to turn things over to Commissioner Tremaine Phillips. Commissioner Phillips?
Good evening, all, and thank you once again, Judge Mack and Chair Scripps, for teeing up your remarks, teeing up the comment period this evening. Also, I just want to, of course, give thanks to our staff for the time and attention to detail it takes to plan and to facilitate these public hearings. Whether these hearings are virtual or in person, you all do your absolute best to ensure that the voices of Michigan ratepayers and residents are heard by this body. As Chair Scripps indicated, our sole purpose here today is to inform and to listen to your feedback on the Integrated Resource Plan filed by Indiana Michigan Power, or I&M. For awareness, Indiana Michigan Power is an investor-owned electric utility whose service territory extends over 6 southwest Michigan counties, providing electric service to over 125,000 Michigan residents. As our team will describe via a short presentation later this evening, Integrated Resource Plan cases are one of the most important proceedings deliberated upon by the Commission, as they set forth how a filing utility projects it will reliably and cost-effectively meet the long-term energy needs of its electric utility customers. With the emergence of new energy resources and technologies, coupled with the acceleration of climate change, enhanced extreme weather events, projected increases in electricity demand from electric vehicles, and continued state and national discussions on issues of access, equity, and environmental justice, all of this has only further emphasized the critical nature of these proceedings and the need for the Commission to hear directly from ratepayers, communities, and stakeholders. So with that, I thank you all for taking the time to join us this evening, whether as a commenter or as an individual interested in hearing the perspectives of your fellow community members or ratepayers. And I, of course, encourage that we all continue to have this be a forum for respectful discourse. Lastly, I also would encourage those participating to visit our website at michigan.gov/MPSC to take advantage of the many resources that are available and to explore other avenues to work with and provide feedback to the dedicated team here at the Public Service Commission. Now with that, I will pass the virtual microphone over to Commissioner Catherine Peretick. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips. I'm Catherine Peretick. I was appointed by the governor to begin my term in January of last year. And I want to echo the thanks both to all of our fantastic staff at the MPSC who organized this and who were named by my other 2 fellow commissioners, but also all the public participants who are attending this hearing and taking time out of their evenings for this. Because I believe it's vitally important for us as commissioners to hear from the public and to really gather meaningful input to ensure all points of view are considered in these important decisions. The Michigan Public Service Commission is based in Lansing, like most of state government, and we have an open public comment period at the end of every one of our commission meetings, which are held approximately twice a month. Any and all are welcome to comment at any of our commission meetings, either in person in Lansing, in our hearing room, or remotely via the online teleconference system. You can join either by phone or by this virtual Microsoft Teams platform, and that broadcasts each of our meetings live. This today is an opportunity for us to hear about Indiana Michigan Power's integrated resource plan directly from the public, the people who are most affected by the plan in front of us, and the decisions that we as a commission make. So thank you all for coming, and I look forward to everyone's comments.
Great, thank you, Commissioner Paratic. We'll now move into a short video that provides an overview again of Indiana Michigan's filing, the Commission's role, and how you can participate in this proceeding. And then we'll open it up to the most important part, which is hearing from all of you. So with that, we'll move to the video.
Good evening. Welcome and thank you for attending the public hearing for Indiana Michigan Power Company's Integrated Resource Plan. We are pleased that you are joining us today. We have a short presentation to go over before we take public comment. We are here to hear from you. Today's presentation will focus on Integrated Resource Plans, or IRPs, including what is an IRP, what the 2016 Energy Law PA 341 says about IRPs, the case process and participation, a high-level overview of Indiana Michigan's IRP that was filed February 28th, and what the Michigan Public Service Commission must consider in its evaluation and decision-making of an IRP. The Michigan Public Service Commission is a state regulatory agency with limited jurisdiction over investor-owned utilities. Our jurisdiction is given to us by the legislature. The mission of the Michigan Public Service Commission is to serve the public by ensuring safe, reliable, and accessible energy and telecommunication services at reasonable rates. An IRP is a comprehensive plan developed by an electric utility that outlines its plans for delivering electricity to its customers. How it will provide reliable, cost-effective electricity while addressing the risks and uncertainties inherent in the utility industry. Risks and uncertainties could be things that may change between now and the next 15 years. Technology advancements, fuel prices, load growth, electric vehicle adoption. Circumstances can change between now and the next 15 years. Public Act 341 of 2016 requires that all rate-regulated utilities in the state file an IRP and at least every 5 years thereafter. The statute requires the plan to look 5, 10, and 15 years out into the future. The IRP application requirements were developed through a stakeholder process and approved by the Commission in 2017. They include things like renewable energy, long-term forecast of sales and peak demand under different scenarios, plans to eliminate energy waste through using less energy altogether or energy efficiency as a result of technology advancements, an analysis of potential new or upgraded electric transmission options, reliability, how the utility will comply with applicable state or federal regulations. The Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy will review the application and make sure the utility is going to comply with existing and proposed environmental regulations, the utility's current generating portfolio and age of units and other metrics, projected load management and demand response savings, and projected rate impact for all periods covered by the plan. These things just mentioned are to be included in the utility's application and supported with expert witness testimony and any exhibits or work papers. Public Act 341, Section 6T is the part of the energy law that outlines IRP provisions. This section of the law includes a host of specific things that the utilities have to include as part of their filing. Part of what utilities have to include are required modeling scenarios and sensitivities as approved by the Commission. These are all different visions of the future. The business as usual scenario assumes not much changes from circumstances today, even 5, 10, and 15 years out. The emerging technology scenario assumes a 35% cost reduction for emerging technologies, which includes things such as energy efficiency, demand response, small-scale solar, large-scale solar, and many other things. The cost reductions prescribed modeling is used to see how cost reduction might affect the economics of generation. The high market price variant is a scenario that was developed solely for the Upper Peninsula utilities because generation serving customers in the UP is mostly from natural gas fueled generation or imported from Wisconsin. The UP does not have a lot of its own generation, so there is a special scenario looking at changes in market prices. The environmental policy scenario was developed to look at a hard cap on carbon emissions, which would include a 30% reduction in carbon by 2030 from 2005 levels. The last scenario is the carbon reduction scenario, which is the newest addition to the scenarios. It contains the same assumptions as the environmental policy scenario, but with the addition of a 1.5% year-over-year load growth and modeling both 28% and 32% carbon emissions reductions by 2025 from 2005 levels. These modeling scenarios and sensitivities were also developed through a robust stakeholder process before being formally approved by the Commission. The IRP process starts when a utility files its future proposed plan with the Commission. Indiana, Michigan filed its application with the Commission on February 28, 2022. The application typically outlines how the modeling was done and how the plan was developed. The staff and intervener testimony allows other stakeholders and interest groups the opportunity to submit their own evidence and weigh in on the utility's proposed application. Next comes the proposal for decision, in which the administrative law judge, or ALJ, takes all the evidence presented in the case and makes his or her decision based on that evidence. The Commission by law must issue an order within 300 days for an IRP. The Commission has three options. It can approve the IRP, deny the IRP, or suggest changes to the IRP. If the Commission approves the IRP, it may include pre-approval for the recovery of the costs for resources that are included in the first 3 years of the plan. If the Commission denies the IRP, provisions in the law allow the utility to submit another application within 60 days, and then the Commission has a short 90-day time frame to then approve or deny the IRP. Even if the IRP is denied, the company can still seek recovery of the expenses in a future general electric rate case. If the Commission recommends changes to the IRP, the utility has 30 days to submit with changes, and then the Commission has another 30 days to review the changes and issue a final order within 360 days from the date of filing. This entire process is laid out in the law. There's also the possibility that the parties to the case agree to a settlement prior to the Commission issuing an order, in which the Commission would still have to approve the settlement agreement. As mentioned, Indiana, Michigan filed its IRP with the Commission on February 28, 2022. The filing is available on the Commission's website and can be accessed using the link provided or by going to michigan.gov/MPSC. From here, to get to the filing, you would click on e-dockets in the upper right. This would take you to the page where you would put the case number into the search bar. The case number is 21189. And with that, it will take you to the case where you can click on 21189 and view all the filings. The application, testimony, and exhibits span almost 2,500 pages. There are 8 interveners, including the MPSC staff, representing a wide array of interests. Section 67 of Public Act 341 addresses the parameters of intervention in IRPs as electric customers of the utility, respondents to the utility's request for proposals, other parties approved by the Commission, and parties approved by the administrative law judge. Indiana, Michigan ran models of several combinations of scenarios and sensitivities. Analyses were also conducted beyond the modeling runs on impacts related to Michigan planning parameters, statewide market energy waste reduction potential study, and related to the termination of its intercompany purchase agreement with Ohio Valley Electric Corporation. Through all the modeling of scenarios, sensitivities, and assumptions previously discussed, the utility chose its proposed course of action, which includes the retirement of 2 coal units, Rockport Unit 1 in 2028 and Rockport Unit 2 in 2024. In addition to existing resources, Indiana, Michigan's preferred portfolio includes 1,600 megawatts of wind resources selected through 2038, 1,900 megawatts of standalone solar resources selected through 2040, the selection of hybrid paired solar plus storage resources in 2027, which consists of 60 megawatts of storage and 300 megawatts of solar, 1,070 megawatts of gas combined cycle selected in 2037, and 1,750 megawatts of gas combustion turbine resources through 2040. The company proposed modifications to its competitive procurement process, which is the process it uses to receive bids for a project. Cook Unit 1 and Unit 2 operations continue through 2034 and 2037 respectively. A decision regarding the potential to seek license extensions for these units will be made in the future. For demand-side resources, the preferred portfolio includes a diverse mix of energy efficiency bundles, demand response, and other load management programs. The company intends to utilize a 2022 all-source request for proposal to solicit responses from the market for the 2025, 2026, and 2026-2027 capacity resource needs identified in the company's short-term action plan. The RFP will seek approximately 800 megawatts of wind resources, 500 megawatts of solar resources, and other qualified capacity resources from thermal, standalone storage, emerging technologies, and other capacity resources to meet an overall capacity portfolio to be reviewed within the parameters of the company's preferred portfolio. The company intends to seek resources that meet certain criteria related to in-service dates, interconnection, and ownership structure. And finally, the company is seeking to recover a financial compensation mechanism, or FCM, on all new or newly modified PPAs. Statute also prescribes the review criteria for an IRP and states the MPSC must determine whether an electric utility's IRP is the most reasonable and prudent means of meeting energy and capacity needs by considering whether the plan appropriately balances all the following. Resource adequacy. Resource adequacy means the utility has enough resources plus an additional reserve to meet summer peak load, which is usually on the hottest days when customers have air conditioning running full blast. Competitive pricing, which is putting out bids for new supply side resources. Reliability means serving customers at all times, keeping the power on. Commodity price risks. One example is natural gas prices that have fluctuated and remained volatile in the past and can influence the economics of a decision. Diversification of generation supply. This is important to hedge risk and to simply not put all their eggs in one basket in the case of a problem that could affect one particular generating resource, balancing the resources that serve customers. Compliance with environmental regulations. And finally, whether the proposed levels of peak load reduction and energy waste reduction are reasonable and cost effective. The Commission's decision is based on all the evidence provided by the utilities and intervening parties to the case. All public comments are included in the case file. There are 3 ways to submit public comment. If you plan to speak today, your public comment will be transcribed and included in the public record. You may also choose to send public comment via mail or email if you do not wish to speak today. Please be sure to include the case number when providing a written comment. In this instance, the case number is U-21189. Your comment can be mailed to the MPSC at P.O. Box 30221, Lansing, Michigan, 48909, or emailed to mpscedockets@michigan.gov. Written comments will be placed into the case file and available for public review and the Commission. You can continue to follow the progress of the case by going to the case docket through the Commission's website. Here are the dates that have been set by the administrative law judge in complying with the law for the Commission to issue an order 300 days after the case is filed. Thank you again for joining us today. Ways to stay connected to the Commission's work are through our website, michigan.gov/MPSC, or follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter.
We will now start the public comment portion of this public hearing, which will be open until 8 p.m. When I call on a speaker, they will need to unmute their microphone by hitting *6, and then when they conclude to mute their microphone. I ask that everyone else keep their microphones muted so we can hear the speakers. As the commissioners noted, the commission wants to hear from everyone who wishes to comment on the application. And as indicated during the presentation, written comments may be submitted to the commission on the e-docket under the case number U-21189. Tonight, we will be taking comments first from those who have pre-registered, and then anyone who requests to make a comment through the Q&A feature that will remain open during this hearing, and anyone who is participating by telephone. As also indicated in the notice of public hearing, if we lose connection, the commission will be in recess. We will attempt to reestablish a connection, but if we're unable to do so within 30 minutes, we will adjourn. We will not recess or adjourn due to technical issues experienced by individual members of the public. If you have intermittent internet service, you should consider listening to the meeting via telephone and not the computer, so if there's an interruption, you can avoid missing part of the hearing. Another option is to watch the meeting through your internet service with the sound muted, and then listen to the audio from your phone. Please keep in mind that the video feed has a slight delay when the telephone line is in real time. Before we begin taking public comments, I would like to make a few points. Please focus your comments to the issues raised in the application. Please address your comments to the commissioners. We will not take questions because they will be rendering the final decision on the application. And as also indicated, the court reporter is transcribing this meeting, so please speak clearly and slowly, and the transcript will be posted to the e-docket. When called, please press *6 to unmute your microphone and then mute it when you are finished. And I ask the speakers begin by providing their name, city of residence, and any organization that they may be representing. When I call a speaker, I will also identify the next speaker. And finally, we are asking that you make your comments within a reasonable time frame tonight. So with that, we will begin with Ms. Mary Anderson, followed by Jennifer Rice Snow. Ms. Anderson, can you unmute your microphone?
Decided to start.
Ms. Anderson?
Okay, I apologize that my dog is barking. She just started. Probably she knew I unmuted. Anyway, my name is Mary Anderson in St. Joseph, Michigan. And I feel very strongly that this plan is not sufficient. We need to move away from coal and gas much more quickly. This is the 21st century, and especially with Russia and the war in Ukraine right now, we need to be a model of renewable and sustainable energy so that tyrants like Putin can never have an energy hold over other countries. Investments in energy efficiency and solar and wind is extremely important to the health of our planet, and climate disasters are becoming commonplace. Personally, I'm outraged at how slowly progress is being proposed by fuel companies. I'm on a fixed income and need to have energy costs kept as low as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. We appreciate your comments tonight. Ms. Rice Snow, can you unmute your microphone?
Okay. Hi, my name is Jennifer Rice Snow. I'm a customer from Muncie, Indiana. In one of Indiana, Michigan's IRP workshops last year, a presentation included their projections on climate change. It was scary, like all climate change information. Everyone has a responsibility to care for our planet, of course. I&M and the larger AEP Corporation has real ability to improve this future. I realize they have competing demands, including from shareholders. As you review I&M's plan, please consider the life of future generations the most important burden you bear. I&M must retire Clifty Creek and Rockport soon. Just like with the COVID vaccine, there are lots of scientists working on how humans can continue on this planet. Many of these solutions would increase the demand for electricity from renewable sources. Natural gas is not clean and is not a way forward. Quickly transitioning to clean, renewable energy doesn't mean moving from feast to famine. Our electric utilities can continue to thrive. Consider I&M and the people who care about the future can work hand in glove. Quickly switch to a 100% renewable energy portfolio and watch us advocate its use everywhere. Electric long-haul transport, solar-powered big box stores, clean energy-fueled carbon sequestration, and saltwater desalination. One more little thought, and I sure appreciate this opportunity to share. Please consider allowing neighbors to cooperatively invest in community solar and installing solar on subsidized housing, which in Muncie at least is often all electric and in drafty houses. These lower income customers are some of the most hurt by increases to the fixed charge. We have some very strong neighborhood associations that could really run with community solar and be powerful partners with demand-related programs. And many of our citizens most likely to get disconnected are in subsidized housing. As you know, many Indiana, Michigan customers are struggling financially. Increased and aggressive investment in clean renewable energy, storage, and energy efficiency can help us economically with good jobs as it keeps our planet livable. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Reisner. We appreciate your comments. We have gone through the individuals who have pre-registered. My understanding is no one has requested the comment through the Q&A feature, but I will ask, is there anybody on the line right now that would like to make a comment to the commission? Okay, it appears we have gone through at this point all the individuals who wish to make a comment. So what we will do is we will go off the record and we will reconvene at 7 p.m. Thanks, everyone. We're back on the record. No one has requested to make comment through the Q&A feature. Is there anyone on the call that would like to make comment to the commission at this time? Hearing none, we will go off the record again until 7:30.
Judge Mack, should we just remind people that to unmute it's *6?
I probably should. Thank you, Kyle. If there is anyone who is online and would like to make a comment, they would have to unmute by hitting *6. Hearing no one, we will go off the record and we will come back on at 7:30. You ready, Pat? Okay, we are back on the record. It is 7:30. No one has requested to make a comment through the Q&A feature. Is there anyone online who would like to make a comment? And if they are, they will have to press *6 to unmute their microphone. I don't believe we have anybody online who would like to make a comment. So we will go off the record and we will come back on at 7:55 p.m. You get all that, Pat?
I did. I did. Thank you.
Pat, are you ready to go back on?
Yes, yes. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
We're back on the record. No one has requested to comment. There's no one online, so I will turn it over to Chair Scripps for closing remarks.
Great, thanks, Judge Mack. Really appreciate the work of our staff on this. For the folks who participated today after normal business hours for the state and who put in all the work in terms of putting together this public hearing. I want to remind folks who may be listening in or maybe viewing the video of this after the fact that you could still participate. You can email comments to mpscedockets@michigan.gov. Reference case number U-21189, and we'd love to hear your thoughts and perspectives on Indiana Michigan Power Company's integrated resource plan. This case, again, will continue through the course of the year. A decision is expected no later than December 27th of this year, and we'll continue to move the process forward. Again, want to express my thanks to Judge Mack and to Pat Letza, the court reporter, for their work this evening, and to everybody who participated. It's really important that we hear from the public most directly impacted by the decisions that we make. We continue to have a strong commitment to gathering public input to inform the work of the commission, and want to, again, express my thanks and the thanks to the commission for everybody who participated and made tonight the event that it was. Thanks again. Bye.
Thank you, Chair Scripps. We will conclude this public hearing. We are off the record. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Have a good
Well
evening.